we're going to look at some other options of deck building paths if we do lose Anaconda and or Dragoon, and one of them is rank 7 turbos. Because Zeus is still in the format and still a very strong card, making rank 7s doesn't seem all that bad. And of course, this would be our staple Eborn Illusion Magician. Naturally, this card is probably one of the best Xyzs for Dark Magician. There's a bunch of others that I'll show you too. Everyone will know what it does, but I'm going to read it real quick, okay? So once per turn, you detach a material from it, you special a spellcaster normal from deck, so Dark Magician, and when a spellcaster normal declares an attack, you can target a card and banish it. So you can actually use Dark Magician to declare an attack on a monster and then just banish it, and then you can redeclare that attack as like a direct attack or onto something else. So it's a really nifty card and it synergizes really well with Circle. Narito, now this is a rank 6 made from 2 spellcasters. Now you might be like, well, we're spamming rank 7s. Well, yeah, but this Xyz is very, very good with Apprentice Illusion Magician and Magician Souls summoning out Dark Magician Girl. You can go into this for essentially 3 cards because you need a discard for Apprentice. Why did they do that to us? We already lose card advantage really easily. But anyway, the reason Narito is good is because you can actually rank up into Eborn Illusion Magician, who we were just looking at. So if you do the mathematics, you go Narito the Moral Leader, into Eborn Illusion Magician, into a certain someone that everyone knows is an annoying card to do. Now, of course, it sends the whole field when you do try to use it, and of course we need to go to battle phase and attack with an Xyz, but Narito and Eborn are fairly safe to swing with since they're such big bodies. If your opponent has something in defense too, that's a free thing to just swing into. You might take a bit of damage, but who cares? If you get to a 2 material Zeus, it's pretty worth it. Of course, this sends the whole field, which means if you're playing back row, control stuff, circle, eternal soul, you're going to lose them. But I still think it's worth it, and it's a great thing to do going second. Just skip straight into a Zeus, go into your main phase, spam out these guys, go to battle phase, swing, force an interruption. If your opponent reacts, great, you got what you wanted, and you can try to play in main phase 2, or you can go main phase 2 and Zeus and try to send their board. If that doesn't work either, cool, you can now try to play once again with your rod and all that jazz. So you wouldn't use your rod in that main phase 1. You don't need it to go into your rank 7s and rank 6s, so you just use your Magician Souls and your Apprentice and whatever else you have. Alright, so real quick, I'm just going to show you some other uses of our boy Narito. We are going to use Magician Souls, sending and summoning the Dark Magician Girl. It's going to discard a random card to summon Apprentice. And we're going to use her effect to grab a Dark Magician from deck to hand. Hopefully you have an opened one already. It can happen and it sucks, but what can you do? Alright, Narito is going to come out next, and we're going to immediately rank him up into Eborn Illusion Magician. From here, we are going to use Eborn Illusion Magician's effect. We're going to put Dark Magician Girl in the grave, just in case we have Soul Servant. That's going to special out Dark Magician from our deck. Cool and good. Now at this point, if you do have Soul Servant, now is a great time to use your Soul Servant and just get yourself some cards, get yourself 2 draws while you've got the Dark Magician and the girl in the grave, because from here on out, they're not going to be in there anymore. Alright, we've got the Anaconda. We are going to be sending Magicalized Fusion here. We're going to be summoning Quintet, and you'll notice we actually have 6 spellcasters in the grave with individual names. How good is that? So we're going to go Magician Souls, of course. We're going to go Apprentice, Eborn, Narito, and then sadly you have to pick Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. It'd be nice if we could get here with 1 more spellcaster, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. In this case, because we've got a Dark Magician in the hand, I'm just going to YOLO and banish the one that's on the field. Now, of course, we've met the requirement for Quintet to activate its second effect to destroy, or sorry, its first effect to destroy all cards your opponent controls. And that is the idea behind this combo. And of course, its additional effects are this face-up monster can't be tributed or used as fusion material, and it can't be destroyed by card effects, and it's a 4500 attack beta. You love to see it. Another really great option for winning in time, for just putting your opponent on a clock. I really love Flare Metal. It's definitely won me a bunch of games like years ago. I haven't summoned it in a long time. Ironically, you can use its effect nowadays to summon a Red Eyes normal monster from grave, but even then I don't think it should see too much play, and we probably, if we're playing this, we're probably not playing Dragoon kind of thing, if you get me. Like, we're probably playing it because we don't have Dragoon or Anaconda anymore. And this is just a good rank 7 because it actually doesn't die to Eternal Soul wiping the field, while it has an Xyz material, and it always will. So its first effect is just cannot be destroyed by card effects, and that's just in general, not just your opponents, it's in general, while it has an Xyz material. Another important thing about Flare Metal is it doesn't activate. So your opponent can't hit it with like Ghost Ogre or some random shit, right? It's so good. The effect to burn doesn't activate. Thought I'd just clarify that. It's just a random thing that happens, kind of like ding protection, if you know how that works. Psst, this is the ding I was talking about. Big Eye. Big Eye is a cool guy, and he really helps us just swing the game back our way. Now, of course, he can't attack the turn that he steals a monster, but it's still a very, very good effect. We love stealing free resources, so why not? Yeah, but as Team Sam said, you cannot actually make Zeus with this card if you steal a monster that turn. And to be honest, if you're summoning Big Eye, you should be stealing a monster. Don't worry about attacking with it so much. The first three Xyz I showed you, I would say, are the staple Dark Magician rank 7s. I actually think they're perfect. Naruto is kind of included in that because he just ranks up into Ebon anyway. So yeah, those are the staple three, I want to say. They're the best ones. Now we're going to move on to some more like spicier tech ones and kind of like your player's choice ones. And one of them is Diablos the Mind Hacker. I think this card is very overhyped. Like when this came out, like everyone was posting in Dark Magician groups being like, oh my god guys, our new rank 7. And I was like, okay, like it doesn't do anything that crazy or Dark Magician related. So it's once per turn, detach a material, look at your opponent's extra deck, banish a monster from it face down. At the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed a monster by battle, target one card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it face down. The first effect is very good, because obviously banishing something from your opponent's extra deck face down, really nice, they can't use it. But think about this, like a lot of decks will just be playing multiple of the card that they really care about. Like, if they were only playing one Hulk or one Anaconda, I'd be like, well, that's stupid. But in saying that, you could probably cripple like a decent combo deck with this. I just don't think it's worth it. And there's a lot of decks in the format that just wouldn't care. So yeah, a bit of an overhyped card in my opinion. Let's keep reading it though, shall we? If a card your opponent owns or possesses is face down banished, while you control this card, you can banish cards from the top of their deck face down equal to the number of banished cards. Equal to the number of their face down banished cards. So that's an interesting effect. You can actually mill your opponent out. But it only really works if they've played like Extrab, Desires, Pot of Prosperity kind of thing. Like, you need them to have already, you know, done a lot of banishing, because this only achieves 1 to 2. And let's be real, cards don't stay on the field for little over a turn or two nowadays, unless they're like big beefy Dragoons or, you know, something that can reoccur itself. So I really just don't see the hype for this card. Maybe am I missing something? Could you guys point it out to me? I think it's a cool option. It's a cool tech. I don't think it's that relevant. I think the other three we've already talked about, those rank 7s, I think they're a lot better. Draco Sack is a bit of an old one, but I thought I'd mention it anyway because it does summon 2 tokens, and we know how good tokens can be when you can make link monsters with them, etc. The fact that you can make this and then start popping cards is kind of nice. It's just kind of fallen off. It's a very old rank 7, so it's kind of showing its age. It obviously can't attack the turn that it uses that effect as well, kind of like Big Eye. So normally you just want to go for Big Eye and steal their card rather than pop it. But by all means, if you want to play Draco Sack, play Draco Sack. You can always use the tokens to extend, I suppose. You could just extend right up into Selene. Oh, you can't go Selene. You can go to a Link 3 though, and that's pretty good. And I guess we'd want to summon Blackluster Soldier, and a rank 7 doesn't count as a level 7. So that sucks. So Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger, is a very Yugi-esque rank 7. It's not very good is the problem, but you can actually rank it up on top of Naruto once again, because it can be played on a rank 5 or rank 6, which is nice if you want to go into like a Zeus climb, and this is probably a better card for swinging at your opponent than Ebon. But I don't think you need it as a slot. You could argue that you could use this to beat the Crooked Cook stall decks, because you can just keep swinging into it for piercing damage. You could also argue you could use this to go into Zeus, so like, I'm not going to dismiss it, but I'm just saying I think there's better options. Ebon High Magician is a weird one. It came out after Ebon Illusion Magician, so I think naturally everyone thought it would be better. And having higher defensive stats than offensive stats on an XZ is strange. It's like, I'm using 2 monsters to get here. I kind of want a bit of attack pressure, and 2300 isn't that much. But anyway, let's get into the effect. So if it has an XZ material, you can activate quick play spells or traps from your hand during your opponent's turn by detaching an XZ material from this card at activation. So that's a very confusing effect, but essentially it lets you use your hand to play quick play spells and traps as if they were set. Which is cool, but it just doesn't come up enough. It's not relevant enough. The other cool part of it is if it is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or if this XYZ summon card you control sent to the graveyard by opponent's card effect, special summon a dark spellcaster from your hand or deck, very generic, and then you can destroy 1 card on the field. That's nice. Doesn't target. It's an then effect. Sorry, it's a then effect. But once again, the card just doesn't quite line up the same as Ebon Illusion Magician. Ebon is kind of perfect, and this kind of just missed the mark. You could play it once again if you want. I just don't think it's too great. Galaxy Tomahawk, it's banned though. But basically, when this card was legal, you would attach 2 material and fill your field up with tokens. And then you could just make the strongest, craziest board of Link monsters. Oh, it was truly beautiful. It made Dark Magician actually really good. But yeah, I don't see it coming off the ban list anytime soon, so say goodbye. Alright, I'm going to mention one more card, mainly because it's holding a Kitar kind of sword, and that's freaking awesome. But also, it has a really niche effect. It's just 2 level 7s. This card's attribute is also treated as each of its materials attributes, which is random, but then it also can't be destroyed by battle with a monster with the same attribute. Also cannot be destroyed by activated effects of your opponent's monsters with the same attribute, which is like interesting. I guess it'll be light and dark in our deck. But here's the interesting part. Quick effect, target one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Detach a material from this card. If you do, attach that target to this card as a material. So low key, I'm like, well, this card would actually be very good for taking the opponent's DPE to destroy a Phoenix Enforcer and just, you know, they don't get to summon it. Then they have to summon their Dasher or Celestial. So you know what? It's not too shabby. Could be a lot better, but might have to look into it. I'm also going to mention this Prophecy rank 7 just because if you're playing a Spellbook engine, this could be really good. I don't really think you need to play a Spellbook engine, but if we are playing a rank 7 build, maybe we just play Blue Boy and a couple of knowledges and secrets. Wouldn't be too bad. You could play the Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. I've played this card in the past and it's not bad. It's just a bit slow, but I guess the main use of it now is if this XZ card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon an Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck. Here's what you summon. Yeah, you get to summon out Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon for free. Now, if you don't know what Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon does, well, first, when it's special summoned, target a face-up attack position monster your opponent has, return it to the hand. That could be relevant, it could not be, but it has another effect, and this is the important part. When a spell, trap card, or another monster's effect is activated. Quick effect, shuffle a face-up pendulum monster from your extra deck into the deck, negate the activation. And if you do destroy that card, I just realized you need a pendulum monster for this effect, so never mind. I guess it's just for the first effect, and this is suddenly nowhere near as good. Well, we spoke a lot about the rank 7s I think you should play, but what about the cards to get there? Well, Tenyis are making a comeback, you could say, with all their Sword Soul results. But you know what? Tenyi Vishuddha, I think it actually works better in the Dark Magician deck. I'm going to have to leave it there for today, guys. Thank you for joining me on a rank 7 theory journey. This is part 1. I hope if this video gets to 200 likes, yeah, we're putting the bar up high, 200 likes, I will make the part 2, and then we may even move on to making a deck profile. But thank you for joining. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy my content. It really helps me out and helps the channel. Till next time, Dark Magician, the best deck.